Okay. So, team for number 4. Let's see. Alex, how are you doing this morning?
Doing good. Doing good.
Good. Okay. So do you have any insights about number 4?
Not really.
Okay. Did you graph it?
Yep. First, you find the equilibrium price to figure out if it's like solid or not, if it affects it or not. Before.
Yeah. So you have to determine first if the price regulation is binding or non-binding. That's the
Sure.
terminology that we use. And so did you graph it?
Mhm.
You did.
Yeah.
Do you want to show us your graph?
I don't really know how exactly I do that. Yeah.
Well, so it's pretty easy actually. So I just make you a co-host like I did. And if you have like a little camera, like instead of showing us your face, you can put the people graphs in front of the camera. You want to give us a try?
Sure. One sec.
Okay. There should be a little like button at the bottom that allows you to share the screen.
I don't know how a screen share would help me, but I know I could just turn on my camera if that'll help.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. I mean, you can turn on your camera and then just push it up.
All right.
Okay.
So right now,
Okay.
that's kind of what it looks like.
Okay. So okay. Let's see if what the others think. Just keep it held up there for a minute. Okay. So Andrew, what do you think of Alex's graph?
I can't see the graph. Well, actually, yeah, I can't see the graph. But for this one, I didn't graph because it was more of like an English question for me. And a little bit of trauma on the English side, but I thought it was a trick question because the price floor signals like the equilibrium point is above the floor, so like everything would just occur at the equilibrium supply and demand or price of
Okay.
quantity. Price of quantity.
Yes. So I see your observation, but you can't see his graph. I can see it in his. See, if you make yourself a co-host, I mean, if you do the like the screen share and then you put it up in front of the camera, we'll see like a big picture of it, like we would see your whole face if you were the leader, Alex. But can you see? I can see in Alex's video feed. Andrew, can you see it or no?
Oh yes. I had to slide the window. Yeah, I see it. Um,
So what do you think of his graph?
62. It seems right. But I think
Yeah.
I
So
think the
so you
decimal is a little different for me. But
yeah. So you think so yeah. I would encourage you, even though I understand where you're coming from based on your explanation,
yeah,
but yeah, to go ahead and graph it first and see where you come up with. Because listen, even if it's the
yes,
case that it is this type of question, remember, you might be asked to graph this question on the graphing portion of the exam. And if you didn't graph it correctly, then you would lose some points, right?
yes.
Um, so I, for some reason, I lost um, Alex, but you did a pretty good job. And okay, and what about you, Brian? What did you think of Alex's graph? Are you there, Brian?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What did you think of his graph?
Mine's similar. I just made the price floor more noticeable.
Oh, okay. Okay. Do you want to show us yours?
Yeah, I'll turn on my camera.
Okay.
Oh wait, I don't even have a camera connected. Maybe.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine then. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but it's similar. I just made the line more noticeable for the price floor.
Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'll stop sharing this and I'm gonna share a whiteboard and let me know, Alex, if I'm making any mistakes here. But so our question prompt looks like that. And okay. And there's demand and there's, oh, I'm gonna do a different. There's supply and here's our quantity. Oh, 6 and 4. And just to verify, right? Our the first thing we should do is graph our equilibrium, or one of the things we do is we should make sure we label our equilibrium price, because we want to be able to compare it to price for price, right? And in this case, it's going to be 62 divided by 6. And so 62 divided by 6. What value did you get, Alex?
I gave you 10.3.
Yeah, that sounds right. So I'm not going to do anything more than that, but I think that should be, is that in your opinion, Alex, is that clear? I'll just put a little dot equilibrium.
Yep, that's clear.
Okay. So and then we have our price floor. And so I'll put the price floor in here, and notice I'm doing one thing a little bit different than you did. And you notice how I'm extending the line for the price floor all the way across. And the reason I'm doing that is because, right, typically we're interested in the gap between quantity demanded and quantity supplied. And so it's just easy for me to make sure I extend the line out that way, sort of like in anticipation, like if I'm going to need this, if I'm going to be analyzing areas on the graph, you see how like I end up with the triangle down here and my distances and stuff like that. So it just kind of helps. So that's you know, a recommendation. And then we can label the price floor. I'll put P, and there's a little cup notation, which I don't have. So I'll just put PL for like a low price. And then it's 7. Okay. So in this case, right, do you remember what happens with price floors is a price floor says that if we have any price, right, and maybe actually this is, I'm just gonna push this out a little bit this way, just so I can, for purpose of illustration, right, is that it limits, right, the price, it can't drop below this, right? But our current price is already above the price floor, right? So it's in that area that's permissible. And so, yeah, I think that it was, I think Andrew was the one that said this, is that it wouldn't have any effect on the market, right? So does that make sense, Alex?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and there goes my dog. So now it would not have any effect on the market, but our question is how much would actually be supplied at the price floor price, right? So so the question is asking for the quantity supplied at the price floor, just in general. So it's this value right here. And what did you get for that value, Alex?
That's where I got stuck. In theory, wouldn't we just plug in 7 to the supply formula?
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd just be 18 then.
What would it? So if we had,
Oh yeah, I'm doing it wrong again. Yep.
okay.
If I did it differently, it'd be like 0.6.
Okay.
Clearly I'm doing something wrong.
Okay. So hold on, wait a minute. Let me see. I think there's an error here.
Yeah, it was the price equilibrium that was wrong.
Yeah. So okay. Wait a minute. Yeah, we're getting confused here. So let's label our other equilibrium point. Okay, because I'm misinterpreting this question for us. So yeah, we have these two candidates. So let's go ahead and we'll label this just to be clear that we understand the answer. So here, if this was a binding price floor, we know that it's not, but what value do you have here? So it would be 7 minus 4 would be 3 divided by 2. It should be like 1.5, right? Units. There. That makes sense?
Yep.
Right, okay. But the equilibrium quantity is our other like candidate. And what do we have for the equilibrium quantity?
Wouldn't the equilibrium quantity be 10.3?
No, because we just got the equilibrium price, right?
But you got that by solving for QV and QB, right?
Yeah.
So that would be X is
okay.
quantity, yeah.
So wait a minute. Is it really that early? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, let's make sure that we agree here. Um, okay. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so there was an error here. So let's fix it. And the error was, so this is Q star. And then we have to go back and check our P star. So what did you get for Q star then in the end? It's not 10.3.
The
So
8.86.
yeah. Okay. And what about our P star?
That one would be 21.7.
Okay. So even though the numbers are different, our analysis is still the same. So we're fine with that. Okay. We still have an equilibrium price. It's above the price floor price. So this would still be non-binding. So remember at the equilibrium, and kind of bringing this home, right? So Q star by definition is QV, the place where QV is equal to QB, right? So quantity demanded and quantity supplied are the same there. And so if this was a binding price floor, and for it to be a binding price floor, it'd have to be above the equilibrium. But then we would look to this number, which would be the quantity supplied at the actual price floor. But because it's non-binding, we know that prices are going to be someplace above it, right? And in this case, the equilibrium price is above it, so that's fine. There's no reason for anybody to change their behavior, and so suppliers will supply the equilibrium quantity. And so just to make sure, that's the answer that Ignithium gave. Okay. So does anybody have any questions about that? Okay, I'm Alex, would you do me a favor and keep an eye on the chat in case somebody has a question?
Yeah.
And let's go ahead and go on to number 5. So the question for number 5 is the same prompt, and this is the question. Okay. So for our next group, which includes Daniel, Omar, and Ryan, what about number 5? Let's start with Daniel. What do you think about number 5? Okay, how about Omar? Okay, and then I don't hear Daniel or Omar, so I'll ask Ryan. What about you, Ryan? No? Okay. Well, then we'll have to see. So Daniel and Omar.
So Ryan just responded in the chat. I'm not sure if you saw.
Yeah, I did. And okay. So your helpers, Ryan, have abandoned you. and I'm not sure if they had a connection problem or if there was some other issue, but we'll kind of toss it out to the group, right? So excess supply. Does anybody have any insights about excess supply and what it means in this context? And you could type something, Ryan, if you
So-
want to. Go ahead.
If the price floor was set above the equilibrium price, then you would
Right.
have an excess of supply.
Right. So because excess supply or excess demand occurs when and that was Scott, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. Happens when this isn't satisfied, right? When quantity supplied is different from quantity demanded, then that means either you've got too many buyers that want to buy compared to the number of sellers that want to sell, or in the case of excess supply, you got too many sellers that want to sell and not enough buyers that want to buy the amount being offered for sale. But here, we're in equilibrium, right? So in equilibrium, there should be zero excess supply, zero excess demand. That's the beauty of equilibrium. So let's go ahead, and that's the answer for number 5. So Ryan, do you understand what's going on? Why the answer is 0?
Yeah, he got it.
Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at number 6. And this one should probably be pretty straightforward. And I'll put it over here in the prompt. Looks like this. So so Scott and Wombly, I think that and Hung, you all are the number 6 group. So since you were talking before, Scott, do you have any insight about this one?
You can't buy more than what's supplied, so it's going to be equal to whatever is supplied at the equilibrium price, because again, it's a non-binding price floor.
Yeah. So and I don't know, does that make sense to you, Wombly? Are you? Yeah. So the gist of it is that in this case, it's asking how much will be traded, and so it's neither really the quantities supplied that matters nor the quantity demanded exactly. It's we're measuring the exchanges from buyer to seller, right? And they match up to the equilibrium quantity. So yeah, sure enough, 8.86. So let's go ahead and go back to the questions, and I'll stop sharing here. If anybody has any questions, you're welcome to ask them. Okay. So we have number 7, number 8, number 9 are our next 3. And let's just try to give number 7 a try, because it's closely related, and it shouldn't present us with any problems. So there's just kind of a change in the language a little bit. Okay. So I'll put it down here. Okay. And let's see. So Hung, how are you doing this morning? We haven't heard from you. I don't know if you can chat with us or not. I know that you're pretty far away. So who else has insight? Because I didn't assign this to anybody. So it's, you know, a little bit different sort of question.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, obviously it is price binding and the price ceiling is lower than the P stars. So then likely the price ceiling will be the price since most people are willing to pay more than that anyways.
Okay. Wait a minute, Wombly. You said things a little bit backward. So I just want to make sure that you know, we don't get confused. So so you said it was binding, right, Wombly, and it's non-binding.
It's a price
Right.
ceiling now.
It's a price ceiling.
Oh, wait a minute. They changed the question. Okay. Sorry, my bad. I gotta be careful about the language. Yeah. So here we have the same numbers, but now we move to the price ceiling. Right. Okay. So I agree with you in that case. I'm gonna go ahead and reinterpret this, right? So the price ceiling is telling us that we can't go above 7, and the equilibrium price is 21.7. So yeah, in this case, the language of prevail is the one that we want to pay attention to, because prevail means, like, you know, what price will actually occur in the market, what will we actually see, and yeah, we'll hit the price ceiling before we get to the equilibrium. So that's the right answer. Good job, Wombly. Okay, just so you all can see that. Okay, good. So it's 8:21, and the remaining questions for the rest of the section have to do with consumer and producer surplus and that sort of thing. And that's what I'm going to talk about in the main lecture today. So if you all don't have any more questions, then I would go ahead and stop here.